75% of the population of Springfield could fit into Michigan Stadium. But right now, as you can see behind me, fans are waiting outside hoping to catch a glimpse of some of their favorite players. Imagine eating a big buffet dinner 3 nights in a row. That's what Julie Erickson says it feels like when she's playing a round of golf. Less than a second time to react after the ball is hit. That's faster than the blink of an eye. Williams posting a triple-double, like you said, in his first 2 games with the Armor. Just missed out on a 3rd one. There we go.
Wow. I am impressed.
The Sox are hoping for a wake-up call. They gave up first place to the Yankees and are trying to win it back tonight with Old Faithful Tim Wakefield on the hill. And we pick up the action in the 4th inning, tied at 1. Carl Crawford hasn't driven in a run since August 6th. Well, there goes that streak. Sox take the 2-1 lead. Boston up 3-1 in the 6th, and it's the new guy, Ryan Lavarnway, doing things the right way. Right up the middle, another run comes in to give the Sox a 4-1 advantage. But it's a Springfield connection that brings the Sox down tonight. Jeff Francoeur, his grandma still lives in Springfield. She likes this. Frenchie drives in a run to make it 4-2. All right, we're still in the 6th. Royals have now tied the game at 4, and Alex Gordon puts KC in the lead with this 2-run double. The Sox bullpen failing them here. The Royal pain doesn't stop either. Eric Hosmer with a 2-run triple, and Kansas City busts out the lumber in a 9-4 win over the Sox. The Yankees not really faring any better, specifically A.J. Burnett. This wild pitch lets the first run of the game home, and it only gets worse from there as he gets taken out in the 2nd inning.
He has not had anything today. He has no command. He's falling behind everybody, and he gets taken out here in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, not a good game. A.J. Burnett giving up 7 runs in less than 2 innings of work, 3 walks, a home run, a wild pitch. The Yankees go down 9-4, but they still lead the Sox by a half game. Chris Capuano pitched in 139 games with the Brewers over 5 seasons, and today he pitched against them for only the 2nd time in his career, and it was an up-and-down battle. The West Springfield native has just 2 wins in his last 7 starts. Today, he ends the game with 7 strikeouts in over 5 innings of work, which is pretty good, but he has to face Prince Fielder, and here he's talking it over with his catcher, and I don't think this is what he had in mind. Fielder's 3-run shot makes it 5-1 Milwaukee. Capuano's old team not showing him any mercy. Unieski Betancourt takes him yard to make it 7-1, so it's not looking good for the former Cathedral star. But the Mets actually rally and take the lead here in the 8th. Angel Pagan takes former Met Francisco Rodriguez for a ride, so Capuano's now off the hook with a no decision, but New York blows it anyway. The Brewers go ahead here in the 9th and hang on for the win, 11-9.
It was a kind of a weird game, you know, when I looked up there through those 5 innings. I think I'd given up 2 hits and 5 runs or something. It was kind of a strange game like that. We're definitely going through a little bit of a funk, and it's kind of, you know, right now if it can go wrong, it's kind of going wrong. And, you know, we got to kind of put our head down and kind of keep plodding through and battle through and hopefully get into a stretch where stuff starts going our way.
Capuano is next scheduled to pitch Friday night against Atlanta. It's a dream come true for a Northampton football player. James Ahedibo is now playing for his childhood team, the Patriots. In fact, the Amherst High grad and UMass alum practiced with the Pats for the first time today. He signed a contract with New England yesterday after spending his first 3 years in the league with the Jets. Ahedibo told the media today that he was born and raised a Pats fan, and he told himself one day he'd be playing for them. And lo and behold, here he is. He was an All-American at UMass in 2006 and had his most productive NFL season last year with New York. UMass is preparing for its season, the final one in the Colonial Athletic Conference. The Minutemen are moving up to the top level of college football after this season, and because of that, they can't make the playoffs the next 2 years. So what's there to play for? How about a little something called pride? The seniors on this UMass squad say they have all the motivation they need.
I view it as a special season, you know, transition year. We're very much a part of this MAC transition. It's important for us to get them off on the right foot going into conference.
We're all competitors on this team, and we're all football players, and Coach Moore stresses competing every day in practice, going full speed every day in practice, and that's what we're going to bring to the table on Saturdays.
mostly Saturdays actually, except for Thursday, September 1st. That's the season opener for the Minutemen as they travel to Worcester to face Holy Cross. That is an 8 o'clock start time. At 7 o'clock, you can watch the season premiere of UMass Sports Weekly. Baseball players have been using these wood bats since the game was invented in the mid-1800s. It wasn't until 1970 that colleges and high schools first started using aluminum bats, and still to this day, the dangers of metal bats have been debated, including here in western Massachusetts. Amateur baseball sounds like this, but the ping of the bat can come at a cost.
I hit him in the side of the face, and it was a real unfortunate incident. It's a tough thing to get hit in the face with a baseball.
Mike Stone just finished his 24th season as head coach of the UMass baseball team. About 5 years ago, one of his pitchers got hit in the face by a line drive coming off of a metal bat.
The chances of that happening with a wood bat, probably 1 in 100.
Hey, working down, here we go.
But in high school, that doesn't seem to happen quite as often, according to Minnechaug head coach Eric Mandel.
I'm not concerned on a daily basis for player safety, for pitcher safety at the high school level.
Nonetheless, aluminum versus wood is an ongoing debate on the high school and college levels. The reason is pretty clear. When the ball hits the bat, you can see why.
The energy gets back into the ball much more effectively from aluminum than for wood. And the result is that you get 6 miles per hour extra in the ball.
In other words, you can hit a ball further and harder with a metal bat than with a wood one.
There's more danger than in using wood, I think. There's a larger sweet spot with the metal bat, and the ball just comes off the bat better.
Home plate, where I'm standing right now, is 60 feet and 6 inches away from where the pitcher stands. Now, given how fast the ball travels, that leaves the pitcher less than a second time to react after the ball is hit. That's faster than the blink of an eye.
Coming to your face at 80 or 90 miles per hour with 400 milliseconds is very difficult to get out of the way. And that's the negative of the aluminum bat. It appears that there are more injuries with the aluminum bat because of that reaction time.
Even considering the potential for injury, switching from metal to wood bats could make schools go broke.
I think it would be completely excessive to switch to wood bats on a purely cost basis.
Mike Roy is the athletic director at Minnechaug High School. He says most of his baseball players buy their own bats, maybe 1 or 2 per season. If they used wood, he says a player might need 8.
The kid may still go out and get his own, but he may break it tomorrow, and we better have a bat to replace it. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to have a baseball team that has no bats. So it would definitely drive our cost, which is right now for bats is minimal. It would drive it up.
A solution is taking shape, though. College teams are now required to use new metal bats that are safer.
It's a good change. It took a while for our guys to adjust to it, but I think right now it's second nature to our people.
The old bats measure how fast the ball travels off the bat. The new ones measure the so-called trampoline effect of the bat.
You come down on the trampoline, you distort the surface. All your energy goes into the surface. You're momentarily at rest, but you bounce back. Where does that energy come from? The trampoline. Well, in the case of the aluminum bat, there's some of that trampoline effect.
The new bats are also heavier and therefore harder to swing. The results are pretty noticeable in college baseball. In UMass's conference, the Atlantic 10, there were almost 200 fewer home runs this past season with the new bats compared to 2 years ago with the old ones. High schools will use the new ones starting next season.
I don't think the high school game was crying out for this change, but in the end analysis, if it's something that will improve player safety, why not err on the side of caution?
There's one district in this state that approved the use of wood bats this season, but those high schools in the Berkshires are choosing not to use them because they don't want to be at a disadvantage. When Mike Hickson sees an opportunity, he dives right into it.
I'm excited. Anytime you get to represent the U.S., it's a pretty good opportunity.
The 15-year-old is one of 2 Americans to qualify for the first ever Youth Olympics this summer in Singapore.
I train every day, 2 to 4 hours, and mostly in the water, a little bit of dry land.
It's really no surprise Hickson makes quite a splash in the pool. His mother Mandy is the UMass diving coach and doubles as his personal coach.
Well, I think for a long time I told him not to be involved in it, and that's probably why he stayed in it, which is typical parent telling them what not to do, and they decide to do it.
It's really helpful, especially because like if something's not going the way I want it to go, we can come back in later and try some more of that.
He's also really good at basketball, which again isn't a surprise. His father David is the head basketball coach at Amherst College.
I had to make a decision a couple months ago what I wanted to do, and I like diving a lot, so I figured I'd stick with it.
As a mom, I just want him happy. As a coach, I look at them just like I would any other athlete, and I prepare them the best I can.
If I wanted to stop diving today, they'd be fine with that. I don't think they really, care too much about that.
So far, so good. Hickson is a 5-time national junior champion and won 2 bronze medals at last year's Pan American Championships.